Today we are going to start with our next chapter, integrals. In this chapter, we will discuss integration of a function. So first, let us understand the meaning of integration. Suppose we are given that derivative of a function is, say, fx. In chapter differentiation, you were given a function and you were asked to find its derivative. That means function was given and you had to find the derivative. Now the question is reversed. You are given the derivative of a function and you are to find out this function. Right? Now, let this function be gx. Here, this is called derivative of gx and this function is called antiderivative or primitive of fx. So, integration is the process of finding out the antiderivative of a function. So, we are given the derivative of a function as fx and we are to find out this function. This function is called as the antiderivative of fx. So, the process of finding the antiderivative of a function is called integration. As process of finding out the derivative is called differentiation. So, process of finding out the antiderivative of a function is called integration. Let's take one example. Derivative of fx is equal to x square. And I need to find the function fx. Here, x square is the derivative of fx. And this fx is called as the antiderivative of x square. So, in a way, I'm asking you to find the antiderivative of x square. That means, think of a function whose derivative is x square. Can you think of any such function? Yes. If I take fx equals to x cube over 3, you can check derivative of this function will be x square. Yes, derivative of x cube will be 3x square. So 3x square over 3 will give you x square. So x cube over 3 is an antiderivative of x square. X cube over 3 is an antiderivative of x square. So, antiderivative of x square is x cube over 3 because derivative of x cube over 3 is x square. So, we have obtained one antiderivative of this function. Now, if I ask you, is there any other antiderivative of x square? What will be your answer? Let's see. What is the derivative of x cube by 3 plus 1? Yes, it will be x square because 1 is a constant, so its derivative will be 0. So, this is another antiderivative of x square. Similarly, derivative of x cube by 3 plus 2 will also be x square. So this function is also an antiderivative of x square. Again, derivative of x cube by 3 plus 6 will be x square. So this is another antiderivative of x square. In general, derivative of x cube by 3 plus c, where c is any constant real number, it will be x square. Thus, we have seen that antiderivative of the function x square is not unique. There are infinitely many antiderivatives of this function, and antiderivatives of x square are given by x cube over 3 plus c, where c is a constant real number. On varying c, that means if I change the value of c, I'll get different antiderivatives of x square. The family of antiderivatives of x square is denoted by this symbol, which we read as integral of x square. So remember this. This symbol stands for integral of. So if I write integral fx dx, it means family of antiderivatives of fx. That means the collection of all the functions whose derivative is fx. In this notation, this symbol is for integral of. This fx is called as integrand, and here this x is called variable of integration. So if integral fx dx is equal to capital Fx plus c, this means that this is the collection of all the antiderivatives of this function. That means d by dx of fx plus c will be equal to the small fx. Here c is called the constant of integration. Yes, remember, two antiderivatives of a function differ by a constant. Yes, family of antiderivatives is given by fx plus c. So, any two antiderivatives of a function will differ by a constant. Now, if I ask integrate fx, integration is the process of finding out the antiderivative of a function. So, when I say integrate fx, it means find integral fx dx, because this denotes the family of antiderivatives of fx. So we have learnt the meaning of integral of fx dx. It means the family of antiderivatives of fx, that is the family of functions whose derivative is fx. Now if I ask you what is integral 1 dx, that is you have to find out all those functions whose derivative with respect to x is 1. Yes, if I differentiate x with respect to x, I'll get 1. So the family of antiderivatives of 1 dx, that is the integral of 1 dx, will be x plus c. Similarly, integration of x dx, that is, you have to find all those functions whose derivative with respect to x is x. Yes, you can see if I differentiate x square by 2 with respect to x, I'll get 2x over 2, that is x. So, integral of x dx will be x square by 2 plus c. Similarly, integral x square dx will be, yes, it will be x cube over 3 plus c, because derivative of x cube by 3 will be 3x square over 3, that is x square. Integral of x cube dx will be x raised to the power 4 over 4 plus c, because d by dx of x raised to the power 4 by 4 will be 4 into x raised to the power 3 over 4, which is x cube. Now you can see here the power is 1. So integral of x to the power 1 was x to the power 2 divided by 2 plus c. Power is increased by 1 and divided by increased power. Here also, integral x square dx is x cube by 3. Power is increased by 1 and divided by the increased power. So, in general, integral of x raised to the power n dx will be x raised to the power n plus 1, increase the power by 1 unit, divided by the increased power, plus c, and here n should not be equal to minus 1. So, if I ask you integral of x raised to the power 7 dx, yes, it is of this form, so it will be x raised to the power 8 divided by 8 plus c. Increase the power by 1 unit and divided by the increased power. If I ask you what is the integral of y to the power 5 dy, it is of this form, but here variable is y, so it will be y raised to the power 6 over 6 plus c. Similarly, integral of x raised to the power 1 by 2 dx. It is of this form, role of n is being played by 1 by 2. So it will be x raised to the power 1 by 2 plus 1 divided by 1 by 2 plus 1. That is x raised to the power 3 by 2 over 3 by 2. So that will give you 2 by 3 into x raised to the power 3 by 2 plus c. So we have certain formulas which you have to memorize. Yes, integral x raised to the power n dx is x raised to the power n plus 1 over n plus 1 plus c, and n should not be equal to minus 1. Integral 1 dx is equal to x plus c because derivative of x plus c is 1. Similarly, integral sin x dx will be minus cos x plus c, because what is the derivative of minus cos x? It is sin x. Integral cos x will be sin x plus c, because derivative of sin x is cos x. Integral 1 by x dx. Yes, when n is equal to minus 1, integrand will become 1 by x. So it will be log of mod x to the base e plus c, because derivative of natural log is log x is 1 by x. Integral e to the power x dx will be e to the power x plus c, because derivative of e to the power x is e to the power x. Integral a to the power x dx will be equal to a to the power x over log a to the base e plus c, because derivative of this is equal to a to the power x. Similarly, integral secant square x dx. Yes, a function whose derivative is secant square x. Yes, that function is tan x. So integral secant square x will be tan x plus c. Similarly, integral cosecant square x dx, that is a function whose derivative is cosecant square x. That function is minus cot x. Derivative of minus cot x is cosecant square x. So integral of cosecant square x will be minus cot x plus c. Integral secant x tan x dx, that is, I'm looking out for a function whose differentiation with respect to x is secant x tan x. Yes, that is secant x, because derivative of secant x is secant x tan x. Similarly, integral of cosecant x into cot x dx will be minus cosecant x plus c, because derivative of minus cosecant x will be cosecant x into cot x. So learn them by heart because they will be used very frequently in the chapter.